First of all, I want to thank you, the chair, and your staff for your work on this bill. I happily accept the committee amendment. I'm here today to present AB 8, a bill aimed to place one or more mental health professionals on all K-12 school campuses and establish a ratio of one mental health professional per every 400 students. This bill also provides flexibility for smaller schools. A similar bill passed this committee last year with bipartisan support. To provide funding for AB 8, I am requesting non-Proposition 98 General Fund through the budget process to provide direct funding to bring mental health support to students. In California, 300,000 children between age 4 and 11 have mental health needs. The research tells us earlier intervention and prevention services are critical. However, over 70% of those children never receive any treatment. And for the youth in poverty or with non-English speaking parents, this number jumped to over 80%. Child and youth deaths by suicide are rising at an alarming rate, and especially for girls of age 10 to 14. Our young people are experiencing a mental health crisis, and they need our help. School has been identified as the best setting to provide services, especially for reaching students of color and underserved communities. However, current students to pupil support staff ratio are really too high to provide timely services. The teachers, who are often the first contact of the student, feel ill-equipped to communicate with them about their mental health need. AB 8 will provide a baseline requirement for mental health support in school for children and youth across the state. And I have to be very, very honest. I really can't take credit for this bill, for the idea to coming out with this bill. The idea actually came directly from youth advocating for mental health support on their behalf. Through this bill, the state will invest and prioritize equitable mental health services for all California students and break down the barriers of stigmas existing today. Moving forward, I'm committed to working with and engage with stakeholders on concerns to find solutions so we can all meet our joint goal of improving resources and support of our students. This bill enjoys the sponsorship of Mental Health American of California and is supported by the Steinberg Institute, the California State PTA, and California Coalition for Mental Health, and others. But before I introduce the witnesses, I'd like to yield the podium to my Assembly member, Eduardo Garcia, who's the joint author of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. We are presenting this bill, and I thank Kenson for allowing me to present with him. As he knows, the issue is important to us and school districts in our district. I'd like to touch on the issue from the creating a sustainable and safe school environment for our students, knowing how important it is that our students spend tremendous amount of time in our public schools. It is the ideal location for us to work with our students. As Assemblymember Chu has said, you know, 1 of 5 or 1 of 6 individuals is dealing with mental health issues in our schools, and ultimately, without it being addressed, creating a very challenging circumstance as it relates to the safety and well-being of students, teachers, and the overall climate of our schools. So just wanted to support Assemblymember Chu and respectfully ask for your aye vote on this bill.
Good morning. Again, Zima Creason, President and CEO of Mental Health America of California. MHAC, Mental Health America of California, is a 60-year-old grassroots advocacy organization focused on mental health policy, advocacy, public education. The idea that led to AB 8 came from the California Youth Empowerment Network, which is a program of MHAC. Cayenne's direction and priorities are determined 100% by its youth board, ages 15 to 26. Cayenne's youth leaders identified having access to mental health professionals at school is key to their ongoing mental wellness. The ability to access mental health services and supports where young people spend the majority of their time will be instrumental in prevention and early intervention, which we know is proven to foster positive outcomes. Last night, I heard an update on MTSS, multi-tier systems of support, in my role as governing board member for the San Juan Unified School District, and it is rooted in the identification model. 100% there is a role for identification, but there aren't enough initiatives that are founded in help seeking. Where do folks go? Where do the young folks go when they know they need help or they want to help other people? They can't wait to be identified. They need somewhere to go. If we want better outcomes with our adults, we have to do better with our kids. California continues to be one of the largest, strongest economies in the world, yet we're at the bottom of the list of pure pupil spending, at the top of the list for spending on prisoners. We have to do better. So I respectfully ask for this committee to honor the youth's voice and youth's wish for this support at school to foster their mental wellness, and ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
I'd like to thank the Assembly Education Committee for hearing me today. My name is Beck, and I'm here to testify in support of AB 8. During high school, I struggled with my mental health as well as issues at home. I had frequent panic attacks, most of which occurred due to stress at school. Since on my campus we didn't have a consistent mental health professional, teachers were often at a loss as to where to send students like me. In fact, there are many youth in my county who recognize mental health as one of their main concerns. We surveyed over 700 youth and found that more than a third of them had experienced mental health concerns themselves and consider mental health one of their top priorities. When I was in high school and experienced panic attacks, I was often ushered out of class with a pass and another student in hopes that I would be able to walk it off. Sometimes I was also sent to the office to speak to counselors, only to be sent right back to class with a sympathetic remark about how I couldn't just sit in the office. For me, this went when my mental health wasn't passable. I was losing valuable time in classes that I was already falling behind in. The greater the gap in my education became, the more anxious I got, until I withdrawed and my mental health spiraled out of control. This eventually led to me dropping out of high school and becoming homeless. I'm 19 years old now. I'm a member of Solana Youth Voices. I'm involved in our local MHSA process, have stable housing, and I'm currently studying to earn my GED. What it took to put me on track was for someone, namely my youth coordinator, Alyssum, to understand my situation and connect me with community partners that eventually helped me get therapy and the other services I needed. If I'd had access to these sorts of supports and services through a qualified mental health professional on my school campus, it could have changed my life. I don't believe I would have dropped out or become homeless. I believe that if AB 8 passes, it will have a profound effect on the many students in California just like me. Thank you for considering my testimony.
Thank you. Very real, very authentic. Thank you.